So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips or 3 tools that you can literally use and apply into your life so that you become much more organized, much more productive, and much less stressed. I personally use these 3 tips in my own life, and over the past year, I've been able to scale my YouTube channel to 200,000 subscribers, have a pretty fun and vibrant social life. I balanced multiple sports on the side, and I even had an internship last summer as well. And personally, not to toot my own horn, but I personally do believe it's because of these 3 strategies that allow me to do this. So I'm just going to share you these strategies, which work for me. Well, so I think it's probably going to work for you as well. Enough yapping. I'm just going to go straight into the strategy. First tip is you need a second brain. So for those who don't know what a second brain actually is, you know what a Google Doc is, right? Imagine like a system with multiple layers of Google documents where you basically keep all of the information that you've accumulated over the months and over the years. It's literally that simple. And the easiest example of a second brain that I can give to you is this online software called Notion, which I personally use. And the reason why I personally have a second brain is because your brain is for generating ideas. It's for generating ideas, not for storing them. Say your friend is talking to you right now and he says, "Hey, Matthew, you have a deadline that's coming in 3 days. Have you finished this assignment yet?" Most people will probably hear that and go like, "Oh, crap." And they'll get all stressed. They'll get all panicked, but they will never actually sit down and do the assignment until it's like 5 hours before the deadline. And by the time that actually happens, they're cooked. Simply because they didn't put the effort to actually jot that piece of information down in a place that they can actually remember. That's what a second brain is for. Personally, what I do whenever some sort of thing like that comes up, whether I get an email saying that I need to pay the school fees, the tuition fees for my dormitory, something like that, right? I will transcribe all that information into my second brain, because my second brain is something that I will look at basically every single day. Because of that, it actually helps me to stay focused and to stay prioritized. So this is basically your brain. It can only store a finite amount of information at a given time. Like it can't store that much information. Like this is called working memory. And you can only store maybe 6 to 7 things at once inside your I'm sorry. 6 to 7 things inside your brain at a given moment. So for example, if your brain is constantly occupied with like 6 to 7 deadlines and you're just juggling them inside your brain, trying to hold on to that information, trying to retain it inside your brain, you're going to have a pretty hard time freeing up your brain to think about the more important stuff that you're currently doing. So if you're studying and you suddenly remember this random ass deadline and you don't actually write it down somewhere so you don't forget it, your brain is just going to keep that piece of information inside your brain. It's like kind of like not closing the open tabs on your computer. So your brain actually runs a lot slower that way. That's a problem, isn't it? So that's why I personally have a second brain, to basically remember all of the short-term deadlines and all of the short-term commitments that I personally have. So a little bit more about the second brain. There's actually this second brain method called the para method. So the para method is a method for designing an efficient second brain coming from this scientist called Tiago Forte. You might have heard of him, but if you haven't, that's fine. A lot of the stuff that he says inside the book can basically be summarized into this. When you create your second brain, this is what I do. Like I create a second brain and it has these 4 big groups where I basically put all of the little stuff that I need for that, and it fits into basically each of these groups. So like, for example, my YouTube scripts is under this tab called projects. And in the projects tab, I have this like YouTube scripts database. And basically whenever I randomly get an idea, I will pull up my phone, jot down the title, jot down the thumbnail idea, and jot down the main points that I currently have for the video. And that's really good because there's many times where I randomly get an idea coming out of absolutely nowhere. And if I don't jot that idea down and I try to remember inside my brain is just going to forget it. Like that's just how my brain works. And that's how your brain works as well. So personally, that's what I do. Second thing is the areas of improvement. This is where I keep my digital journals and basically an account of my life and stuff like that. If there's something that I want to improve, whether it's like my spiritual life, I basically, whenever I want to like do a brain dump because maybe I'm feeling unsettled, maybe I'm feeling stressed, I just want some place to actually empty my thoughts. That's where I put my journals. So it's a bit sensitive, but I usually put it inside and yeah, it's private. So no one can see it. So thirdly is resources. And this is where I keep all of my notes for all of the books I've read and all of the YouTube videos I watched. Nowadays, I don't really take notes for books that much, but for YouTube videos, I usually take notes on the YouTube videos on my phone as I'm watching or listening to the YouTube video. If not, then I'm probably on my computer, sitting down and watching the YouTube video and typing notes at the same time. So there's been multiple times where I've had really, really valuable conversations with seniors who are in my dormitory. And I don't want to like lose the conversations that I've had with these guys. So I put them all inside this resources tab. So inside I have like a database on all of the valuable talks that I've had and the insights I've gotten from many different people. So if I want to just remember what this person said to me, I can just look it up inside my database and I'll instantly be able to get those ideas. And lastly, this is the archive. It's basically just unused Notion templates that frankly, I don't need anymore. So I just put all of them into here. Now you can use other software to create a second brain. I've heard of something called Obsidian, but personally, Notion is probably the best tool. And this has been a tool that I've been using over the past year. It has never really failed me, and it's only been getting better and better. Like recently, they introduced like some new AI feature called Notion Agent, where you can literally type inside the AI, and it can generate databases specifically designed for your needs. So I think that's really cool, and that's why I personally use Notion as my second brain software. But the point is, once you actually generate a second brain, where you keep all of the information that you currently need on somewhere that you can easily access from your phone or your computer, that's going to be really beneficial for your mental space and your overall workflow. Because no one wants to be remembering like 10 deadlines inside your head, right? And honestly, the best software that I've personally used to date is probably going to be Notion. So the second tool that I personally use is time blocking. So back in high school, I actually did not have a Google Calendar. I didn't even know what time blocking was. I didn't have a schedule and I didn't know what I had to do every single day. Because when I was in high school, the school would basically plan out every single little detail inside my schedule. I did not have to manage it at all. It was just like I went to school, clocked in a 9 to 5, went back home, ate dinner, did some other stuff and went back to sleep. That's usually how my days went in high school. But if you're in university, and I'm assuming you are, because if you're watching this video, you're probably a university student, right? You gotta be using a Google Calendar, or at least a calendar of some sort. I don't care if it's Apple Calendar, a Notion Calendar, a Google Calendar. It really doesn't matter that much. But you need to be using a calendar. Let me give you an example. Let's say your friend texts you on WhatsApp and says, hey, do you want to go eat dinner at XYZ place with this person and this person? And you respond to them and said, yeah, sure, I want to go. But then on the day, you suddenly remember you actually have another meeting scheduled on the same time block. And so you go to that meeting, and once that meeting ends, your friend texts you and says, yo, where were you? Didn't you say you were going to come to eat dinner with us? Like, where the hell did you go? That's a problem, right? And you don't want that to happen. That has happened to me multiple times, and that's why I'm telling you that you need to be using a Google Calendar. If you don't know what you're going to be doing at what time, and if you don't schedule in your commitments in the future, you literally don't know what you're going to be doing and when you're going to be doing it. And you're just going to be so scattered all over the place. So I personally use a Google Calendar. If you're using a Google Calendar, I have this 3-step system that I call the traffic light system. So this is very simple to implement. So in your Google Calendar, create 3 different colors for 3 different types of tasks sorted in the order of priority. So red would be something that is very urgent, something that absolutely must get done. If you do not get this red task done, then your day is basically cooked. Or at least that's the way I think about it. So all the tasks that I've highlighted in red are the stuff that I actually need to do. I cannot skip them. I cannot be late for them. The next one that I have is yellow tasks. These are tasks that I can probably skip. And the last one that I have is the green color. The green is mainly for relaxation. If I'm going for dinner with some friends, I'm going to be highlighting that stuff in green. So as you can see, this is in order of descending priority. The reason why I've color coded it like this is because when I instantly glance at my Google Calendar, I can see what tasks need to be prioritized first. One more thing about the Google Calendar that I have in my script is batching meetings at night. If I can skip meetings, I usually skip. So what I personally do is with meetings, I try to schedule it at the end of the day so that after the meeting is over, I can just go straight to sleep. Because most of my deep work is going to happen early in the morning and maybe in the afternoon as well. But at night, I don't really do much deep work over here. Like I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of fatigued. I want to be chilling. I want to be eating dinner. I want to be like, reading a book or something like that. In addition to the traffic light system and batching meetings at night, I also have a GPT weekly scheduler that is actually integrated inside my Notion database where I'll type all of the tasks that I need to do and it will literally spit out my weekly schedule. So I personally have like 2 different schedules. One schedule is on my Google Calendar where I like click open my phone and it will send me notifications and it's highlighted in red, yellow, and green using a traffic light system. But I also have like a more macro planner where I can like see a general overview of the stuff that I did throughout the week. So I personally have my to-do lists per week inside Notion and I have my time commitments and my time blocks inside Google Calendar. And what's really cool is that Notion recently introduced this AI integration, this AI agent inside their database. So what I do is I put in this prompt. I called it like the planning GPT prompt. I put in this prompt and I input my weekly tasks so that I can schedule my week. So I personally have 2 different schedules to kind of manage my time. This is not necessary for you, but this is what I do. I usually have a to-do list inside Notion and time blocks inside Google Calendar. So the last tool that I personally use is called a not to-do list. This actually is built upon the mental framework called the inversion principle. The inversion principle is a psychological framework that basically states that it's actually easier to think about the stuff that will not lead you towards your desired goal than it is to think about the stuff that will actually lead you to the goal. So if you want to lose weight, it's actually easier for you to lose weight if you just said that you're not going to eat junk food. Not eating junk food is probably a shorter path to losing weight than saying, I'm going to eat healthy food. Like everyone can say, oh, I'm going to study hard. I'm going to get good grades. I'm going to schedule my day and do all these things. But not everyone is going to say, I am not going to go partying late at night. I'm not going to be eating junk food that's going to destroy my mental health. I'm not going to be scrolling some random bozo ass reels that's going to reduce my attention span. Like saying no to stuff is actually more difficult than saying yes to stuff. But saying no to stuff is actually more productive and more useful than saying yes to stuff. Like, do you see the analogy here? So this not to do list builds upon the inversion principle and it gives you a list of basically the stuff that you shouldn't be doing. So for example, I used to love setting goals. I remember I literally have like a book where I would literally have all of my goals at the back and I would literally track the amount of subscribers that I have for my YouTube channel. I mean, it's pretty normal. I think some people do that as well. But like, if I'm being completely honest, that really didn't help me that much. What helped me a lot was not doing the stuff that would waste my time. So in my not to do list, I basically have like a bunch of checkboxes inside my Notion database, which I mentioned to you earlier, where it basically shows all the stuff that I should not be doing. And this is actually good for me because when I'm tempted to do something that's probably not so good for me, for example, going out to party late at night at this party district in Hong Kong, I can just look at my not to do list and say, okay, well, this is in my not to do list. I already decided that I'm not going to be doing this. So it's actually very easy. It's much easier for me to say that this is the stuff that I don't do. Like, this is a part of my identity. If I want to be achieving my goals, like, I need to be not doing these things. So I'll just pull up my laptop right now and I'll just show you the stuff that I have here. So going out to LKF. LKF is basically this party district in Hong Kong. I don't go to partying. I don't really enjoy it. I think it's a waste of time. So, and I just don't enjoy it that much. So I just don't go. Another one is scrolling stories on Instagram. Another one is watching anime in the middle of the day, which honestly, I'm gonna confess to you, like, I was reading manga on the way back from church. So I kind of like contradicted myself here a little bit. Another one is like checking WhatsApp in the middle of the day. So personally, what I like to do with WhatsApp messages is I like to batch them all at the end of the day. So sometimes people would text me in the middle of the day and they will not get a single reply from me until it's like late at night. I mean, it sometimes pisses people off, but it's actually very rare because they know that they don't have to come to me. Like, if I'm not available to them, like, the emergencies won't happen. I've kind of removed myself as a bottleneck. I mean, as harsh and as kind of rude as it sounds, that's what I do. And it saves me a lot of time because once I actually look at the messages, I can bam, 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 and just do them all in one go. So funny thing of how I got my not to do list inside Notion was I actually have the not to do list in my physical journal somewhere. Yeah, it's right here. Like, I have the not to do list right here. And what I did was I got my phone out. I took a picture of the not to do list and I uploaded it inside my Notion database. And you know what's really cool? I actually was able to ask the AI to transcribe the list and put it into my Notion database. So anyways, these are the 3 tools that I personally use to schedule my day and to actually stay organized. Like, I'm a very, very busy person. And if you're watching this kind of educational content, you want to improve, you want to become better, you're probably also very busy as well. So you basically need a system in place to help you manage your time and organize your day. Because if you don't have this sort of implementation in place, if you don't have a system, then you will not be able to achieve your goals. So many people focus on the goal, like the end goal, like getting a good GPA, getting internships, but no one actually focus on the process and the systems that help you actually get there. If you actually want to be able to implement the stuff that I talked about in the video, then you could check out Notion down below, first link in the description. They've been kind enough to sponsor this video, and I've been using Notion for a very long time, and I find it that it's so helpful. And with the new Notion Agent AI tool that they introduced, Notion has just become so much better. So if you want to organize your life better, then you can check out the first link in the description below. But as always, may God guide us on the right path, and I'll see you in the next video.